Hello and welcome back to my channel. For a long time now, I've been wanting to make a batch of cinnamon rolls and make them to the point after I had rolled them up just before I would cut them and then freeze them into logs. And then those logs could be taken out of the freezer at a later time, cut into cinnamon rolls, and baked fresh. And this could be extremely helpful, especially during really busy times like during the holidays or birthdays or Mother's Day, when you want to have cinnamon rolls, but you know you're not going to have time the night before or that morning to make the dough. You'll have it ready, and all you'll need to do is cut the dough into rolls, proof it, and then bake. So I've made a batch of the cinnamon rolls recipe that we like, and I have a video of that I will link in the description box. So I didn't go into details of how much of everything I put in. But now I am rolling the dough out. And the only things that I have really changed since I made that video is that I now use bread flour. And I feel like that works out better. And I also knead the dough for longer in my Bosch mixer. So I do it on number 2 for about 10 minutes. I also divide the dough into 2 sections, which you just saw me do, and I am able to get 10 rolls out of each section. So now I'm just rolling the dough out, and I will put butter, cinnamon, and brown sugar on it. And I'm trying to make it as close to a rectangle as I can. This is 19 inches long, and I'm not sure how wide. Maybe 10 inches wide. So I have a 1/4 cup of butter that I am just going to spread all over this, and then I will add the cinnamon and the sugar. I'm using plant butter here instead of regular butter, so if you wanted to, you could make a perfectly 100% vegan cinnamon roll if you used oat milk or almond milk or rice milk in the dough. Just sprinkling on some brown sugar now, and I don't measure it. I just sprinkle it on until there's just a nice coating all over the rectangle. And then I'm just sprinkling the cinnamon over top, and not measuring that either, but just making a light dusting. If you like it heavier, add more. Smooth the brown sugar and the cinnamon over the dough evenly. And then press it down lightly before rolling it up. Rolling it up as tightly as I can, and then pinching the end into the cinnamon roll so that it doesn't fall apart. I start at the edge closest to me and then roll away from me. I am going to put this on a parchment lined baking sheet to freeze. So into the freezer it goes. And I will do the exact same process with the other ball of dough. And it only worked for me to put it diagonally here. Rolling them up, and into the freezer they go. Here they are after about 7 hours in the freezer, and I am just going to wrap them up in plastic wrap and put them back in the freezer until I'm ready to bake them off. Now, ideally, I would wrap these in plastic wrap and then put some tin foil on the outside, wrap them in aluminum foil as well, but I'm fresh out of aluminum foil, and so I am wrapping them twice with the plastic wrap. So I'm pretty confident that these can be wrapped and in the freezer for a couple of months. So you could make them in October for Christmas if you wanted to. And that's the great thing about these. You can make them on a day that you're not busy and then put them in the freezer and pull them out when you need them. So fast forward to a couple of days later. I am going to bake these off this afternoon, and so I pulled them out of the freezer at 1. And I had forgot to measure how long they were, so they are 19 inches long, but I think I put that earlier in the video. After they thawed for about 20 minutes, I started slicing them. So I've got a cutting board out here, and I've unwrapped the first log. I'm cutting each log into 10 pieces. So I cut it into half and then cut 5 pieces on each half. What you can do if you don't have room for logs in your freezer, or if you don't want to freeze it into a log, what I would do is after I made the dough, I would freeze it for an hour or two and then cut it into these slices and then flash freeze the slices, and then after they're frozen hard, then put them into a bag and put them back into the freezer for when I needed to use them, and then put them onto a baking sheet like what I'm doing here. Then let them thaw and proof, and then bake them. I sprayed the baking sheet with nonstick cooking spray, and so now I am just arranging these with 4 across and 5 down on the baking sheet for a total of 20 rolls. If you have a 9x13 pan that you're using or a casserole dish, you may want to use 2 different pans. If you want to make giant cinnamon rolls, then cut each log into 6 pieces or slices, and then you'll have a total of 12 cinnamon rolls on your baking sheet. 3 across the width of the baking sheet and 4 across the length. So just covering with some plastic wrap loosely and putting them in a draft-free place so that they can finish thawing and rise. After they thawed a little bit more, then I press them down to flatten them slightly. I'm just making a quick buttercream for when these come out of the oven and I can frost them. It's just a half a cup of butter or 1 stick of butter, 4 cups of powdered sugar, some milk, a teaspoon of vanilla, and a little bit of salt. And the key to this is to beat it for a long time on high speed until it gets nice and fluffy and creamy. You could also use a can of prepared purchased vanilla or cream cheese frosting if you wanted to. For this size pan, you might need 2 cans. And you might want to even whip them up just to give them more volume and more air. So these look ready to bake. At this point, it is 3:20 in the afternoon, so about 2 hours and 20 minutes from the time I took them out of the freezer. They went in a 350-degree Fahrenheit oven to bake, and I baked them for about 22 minutes. And here they are when they're done. They were done around 3:45, so the whole process took about just a little under 3 hours from frozen to baked. And then after they cooled for about 10 minutes, I frosted them with the buttercream. Perfect for Christmas morning or New Year's morning or Thanksgiving as you're getting everything else together for Thanksgiving or Easter. or special occasions like Mother's Day or birthdays or Father's Day. Or how fun would it be to give someone a cinnamon roll log with a can of prepared frosting as a gift that they could put in their freezer and bake off when they felt like they wanted cinnamon rolls. These made my house smell wonderful, and they tasted great as well. The video with the cinnamon roll recipe on it will be linked in the description box. Thank you so much for joining me as I showed you how to make cinnamon roll freezer logs so that you can have cinnamon rolls with minimal effort whenever you're craving them. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. It's free. All you have to do is push that button. Have a good day or night, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.